What is going on, guys? It's Jono. I'm so excited because I'm going to share with you my top 11 make.com scenarios that I use every freaking single day. Literally saves me the equivalent of hiring 30 full-time people every single month. And that's on the conservative end. It's probably more than that. So whether you're a freelancer or whether you run a business that has 1,000 people, I bet you that these workflows, at least some of them, are going to really be a game changer for you. Now, keep in mind that we're going to be going through these super fast, right? So we're not going to be building them out from scratch, but rather I'm just doing a high level overview. If you like any of the material in here, there's going to be separate videos for all of these different scenarios in the description down below that you can go to, where I walk through step by step how to build them. The blueprints are going to be in those videos as well for free. Just make sure to subscribe to this channel if you're new and you like content just like this, because I will be releasing content just like this video pretty much every single day. Make sure to like, and also make sure to comment if you have any questions. Let's dive into it right now. So the first one is actually really simple. It's just a two-step scenario here. And what this does is it allows you to automate the process of getting leads from places like your website and then sending them into your CRM so that within a matter of 60 seconds, you can call a client. Now, the data's out. If you call somebody in 60 seconds, it will increase your conversion rate by 391%. Right? That's a lot. You can make 4 times as much money by doing no extra work. So why not start with something easy and implement something like this? We use this every day, so many times every day. So think about it this way. Somebody comes to your website, right? And on your website, you're going to have a get a quote section, likely. And you're going to ask questions, first name, last name, email, phone number. Somebody's going to fill this in, right? And what's going to happen is there's going to be a webhook set up on this form so that when this is filled out, it's going to automatically send that information into your webhook. And then you can just send that in an HTTP module into your CRM, like Go High Level, right? And in Go High Level, what you can do is just send out text messages, emails immediately to the person. So if I was to take a look at one of the text messages I send out, like literally within 2 seconds, it says, hey, contact first name, it's user first name, which is the sales rep from my company. I just saw you filled out a form on our website, and I'd love to talk more about how we can help. Right? So of course you can set up a module like that. You can also quickly add in a call module here. I know this is a bit outside the scope of make.com, but you could call them within 10 seconds, within 5 seconds. So it's really powerful stuff. The second scenario that we're talking about today is how we can generate contracts, invoices, documents, anything, right? And how we generate these documents is using something called Panda Doc. So it makes proposals, right? This is kind of what it looks like, but more so than just making a document, it's the power of this workflow comes in when you think about how the whole system works together. So in other words, we have sales calls, right? We have so many sales calls with clients every single day. Our company's a bit sales heavy, and we collect all of this information about a particular client. So for example, we're in the wedding space, so we'd ask the date of their wedding, we'd ask the location, we'd ask things like the start time, the end time, all of these details. And then what happens is when our sales staff is done, they're going to submit this form. And as soon as they get off the form, right, they populate all the details we just got from that client on the sales call. It's going to take that information and then it's going to run it through a scenario like this, right, where it generates an invoice number in the second step here. It updates our CRM Go High Level with that invoice number. It generates the line items based on the conversation we had. Like, take a look at this. This is so cool. Like, we can ask for total price. We can add discounts in there. We can do line items. We can add upsells on the side here, all of these. It's going to automatically generate a contract based on the information that we collected on the sales call. So we go through, we create all the line items. This is, here creating the line items, and then we just stitch it back together essentially, and then we send it to PandaDoc. And this is kind of what our agreement would look like. So after that sales form is filled out, it's going to add in the person's name and email and phone number and all the details about their event too, like the date and the start time, end time, duration, the amount that it's worth, all the upsells that you may have selected on that initial form, right? So you select those upsells on the sidebar here. They're automatically inserted into the agreement. How cool is that? You can have multiple services. We have a Schedule B for photography, Schedule A for DJing, Schedule C for videography services here. And then we have all of these line items automatically generated based on a form, right? This is ready to go, ready to immediately send out. Now, the third workflow that I want to cover today is how we can take an agreement just like this, right? And once the client actually pays and they sign that exact agreement, how we can take that data that we just got, right? And how we can update the CRM. Because what often happens in a sales cycle is maybe you go back and forth with the client, back and forth, and you're like, hey, this price, they're like, actually, I want to remove this, but I want to add that. I want to change this. Can you give me like a slight discount on that? Like all this BS, right? And anyways, by the time you actually get them to sign and pay, what the document looks like is nothing potentially compared to what it was at the beginning, right? So that's why having a workflow like this is handy, because it's going to take the exact line items on that agreement, right? It's going to go through all of these and it's going to update the CRM with the exact numbers that they purchased for, updated with all the information from that agreement, right? And then we send it into a Google Sheet as well, so that you can't see it in here. The Google Sheet is from the CRM side of things, but we send all those numbers in. So we have a detailed list of all the calculations. You can enter it into QuickBooks. You can enter it into your accounting software automatically straight through make.com. Now, the thing about this is like, it's boring to look at. If like, honestly, it's not sexy. It's not appealing. I don't look at that and think like, oh my God, this is like the most beautiful, like game-changing thing ever. It's like, no, it's just boring. But the thing is the most boring workflows, the ones that are probably going to save you the most time. And if it's boring to think about automating this, just imagine how boring it would be to spend the rest of your life doing this manually every single day, right? Obviously, you don't want to do that. So a workflow like this is going to be awesome because you can do it once and then forget about it for the rest of your life. Okay, perfect. And also, right, just to give you perspective, let's say we had these upsells that they bought, right? All of these additional upsells here. It's going to automatically add that into the CRM here, right? It's going to add things like extra speakers if they bought that, or wireless microphone, or MC services, or drone. It'll give you the calculation for how many they bought. It'll give you the calculation for how much money they spent, all that kind of stuff. Next one is recruitment. Oh my gosh, this is such a game changer for me. So with my company, we get about 4,000 people applying every single month for all of our jobs, right? And the thing is that's so many people to go through. Usually how we get applicants is through Indeed. We automate the process of getting emails and messages sent straight to people on Indeed. We get them into this worksheet here. And all we do is we have these check boxes, right? And if I approve somebody based on their screening questions, all I have to do is click this check mark here. It's going to send an email to the person. If I reject them here, I just click this check mark. It's going to automatically update our CRM and say, hey, I'm sorry, unfortunately, we're moving in a different direction. If they have to pass a test, maybe they're a content writer or they're an editor, and I want to test their skills before I set up an interview with them, I can check this off. It's going to send them a test automatically. Then we can check off this to schedule a first round interview, check off this to schedule a second round interview, so on and so forth. So this saves a lot of time. What this workflow looks like is just simply, there's more than just this one workflow, but essentially how this works is that we have a watch changes step on Google Sheets here. And anytime any of these fields are changed, right? Any of them, it's going to automatically send that to here. And then if we checked the right box on the right row, so if we checked this box, it's going to pull all the details from line 1201. It's going to pass that in so we know who we're dealing with, and we know that they checked off, screening. So it's going to go down the screening path. If we check off rejected, it'll go down the rejected path. This is a game changer for me. I save so much time. Like, holy cow, talk about saving time. Every single day, this is, oh my gosh, this is something, if you deal a lot of recruitment, you're going to definitely want. Next workflow is Yellow Pages Scraper here. So we automatically scrape hundreds, thousands, tens of thousands of leads using a system like this. Think about the process of generating leads manually, right? You'd have to go into Yellow Pages. You'd have to type in plumber. And then once you type in plumber, you'd have to type in the location and then click search. And then you'd probably have to painstakingly go through one at a time. This cracks me up every time. Drain Kings, plumbers. That is like the most sexual name I've ever heard for a business. It's like, I'm like, are you in plumbing? Are you in something else? I don't know. But anyways, aside from that, if you wanted to get these individually, you'd have to go through all of these different listings, right? Pull out the email, pull out the phone number, all of that kind of stuff. With a workflow like this, we just use a no-code solution like Appify. It just scrapes all those leads, right? It scrapes those leads. And because unfortunately Yellow Pages doesn't provide emails for these people, we take the websites that they have, we scrape those websites to find the emails and all the missing information. And then once we find that, we also analyze their website to summarize the services they provide, just to give us context. And then we create a lead magnet that's too good to refuse, right? We offer them a content calendar like this, where we have content pieces for Instagram and Facebook and blog and Twitter. These are all AI generated, right? So we're generating this automatically for the person, and then we're sending it to them automatically. And this is just a starting template, right? You can customize it any way you want to, but imagine having a tool where you can reach hundreds of thousands of people and deliver AI generated content that's really high value, right? Instead of being like, hey, excuse me, can I please have a job? Can you please pay me? You could be like, hey, you know, I just saw your website. I wanted to give you something for free. I just wanted to provide value up front. And, you know, if you like it, you know, maybe we can have a conversation, but if not, no worries. And I hope you have a wonderful day, right? So much more of a powerful message when you're not necessarily asking for anything in return. You're just giving, and then asking after they feel either indebted to you or they feel like they want to hire you because you've done such a good job. So the system like this allows you to scrape that, create the content calendar, and then email that to the person right away. So really good opportunity to generate leads there. Another system here is to generate blog posts. Our team, we have 2 full-time writers on our team that use a script like this in make.com. We generate blog posts. Firstly, what we do is we use SEMrush actually to generate keyword research. So in SEMrush, this does cost $200 a month. You don't need SEMrush. You can use Google Ads. They have like a keyword planner in there. You can use that. There's a lot of free tools as well. But like sticking onto the plumbing theme, you could be like plumbing, right? In the keyword magic tool here. And all you have to do is come in here, find keywords that have a high enough volume. Maybe you want something above 100, but you want the keyword difficulty to be below 20, which means that there's a high volume for that keyword, but it's not difficult. So if you wrote a blog post and assuming you had a relatively good website with, you could probably rank for these pages like literally on day one, once you get it indexed on Google. And I know that sounds crazy. You might be thinking there's no effing way. And that's exactly what I thought until our writers started literally indexing on the same day on page 1 for terms that nobody else really wrote for. So you can find really good golden nuggets using SEMrush, and then you can plug them into a spreadsheet like this. And then all you have to do is just get them to essentially approve this and then, approve it. And then it's going to generate this blog post. It's going to go through multiple steps here. This is a slightly different variation that I'm showing you here, but you'd have a Google Sheet trigger here instead of like a ChatGPT trigger. It would take that concept, it would write an outline for it, and then it would write a blog post based on the outline. Then you change the tone of voice for that initial blog to make it maybe funny, maybe a bit more interesting, because nothing's worse than reading a dry piece of content on a boring topic anyways. And then making sure that you correct it for any errors, spelling, punctuation. You make it so that it seems like a grade 5 wrote it, so the comprehension is on par with the average reading comprehension online, so it's easy to read, which is going to increase your readership. And then, you just SEO optimize it using AI, and then you pump it out to Google Sheets or upload it into WordPress. So that's pretty awesome here. And then on the flip side of things, when you do approve that blog post, you can take the next workflow here, which has a Google Sheets trigger. And once that's approved, they flip it from pending to approved. It's going to automatically take that blog post. We're going to pull the image off of that blog post. So it's going to go to that website, get the blog post, pull that image off of the blog post. This is a bit complicated. You can skip over this if you don't want to because it's not super important. But we're taking that blog post and we're posting it on Facebook, on Instagram, on Twitter or X, on Tumblr, on Pinterest, on LinkedIn, on Facebook. Actually, we already covered Facebook. So we're pasting it on all of these. You can put it on Medium as well. You can put it on Google My Business. There's so many other places that we use every day, saves us a ton of time. So the next thing here is a TikTok scraper. So what you can do here is use Appify to find really novel ideas. So, when you're doing content creation, it's hard to be creative. It's hard to come up with ideas every single day, especially if you're doing 5, 10, 20 unique pieces of content. Something like this will allow you to scrape tons of different ideas in your niche, paste it into Google Sheets, and then you can have filters like how many views are there? What's the title of it? Or what's the view ratio, like view ratio to following ratio, or how old is that particular post? And then you can find just really good golden, that doesn't make any sense. What am I trying to say here? You can find golden nuggets or needles in a haystack. That's a much better way of saying it. You can find needles in a haystack, just really good viral pieces of content that you could potentially produce yourself. Next one is ClickUp. So this is boring, right? But it's also something that just works really well. When clients pay and sign an agreement with you, let's say you're a marketing agency. Well, you're going to have to render that service, right? And there's no better way to do this than having a ClickUp project in ClickUp. So, or a project management project in ClickUp. What that practically looks like, so you guys can take a look here, is you just send all of the tasks that you have to do for that particular client into ClickUp, and then you assign it to the people on your team for them to get it done by, with a due date, with a priority, how long it takes, and then you can start tracking all the tasks that are due and making sure they're getting done. So this is great. Of course, you could just duplicate a ClickUp project in here, right? And duplicate this list. But the thing is if you duplicate the list, you can't put in at the outset when you create the template, things like the name of the client, or you can't add any customizations to who is assigned to it. If there's, if you're rotating the assignees, stuff like that, you can only do through through make.com. So it's super powerful. I use this every single day. Another thing you can do is analytic tracking. So what we do here is we track our sales and our marketing analytics. So case in point, let's say we have 4 stages between in the lead cycle. So when a lead comes in from your website, right? Then you jump on a sales call, then you have contract signed and deposit paid. You can send information to a workflow like this and track all of those stages and see how well everyone in your team is doing, how many new leads they're claiming, how many quotes they're sending out, how many contracts are being signed, deposits paid, how much revenue are they generating, what their lead conversion rate is from new lead, somebody who inquires all the way up to the point in time that the deal is closed, or their call conversion rate. What percentage of people are they getting on the phone and then closing, right? Average deal size. All of these stats you can graph, and then you can also get different marketing stuff too. So for example, we like to track which sources these leads are coming from, right? What the quality score is, what the average conversion rate is. There's a million things that you can track here, but these are kind of the basics that we like to track. We're in multiple cities, so we want to track which city are the leads coming from, which area are they coming from? Is it Google Ads mostly? Is it Wedding Wire? Bark, SEO. You can see the different split of services that people are asking for. Once again, we're in the wedding space, so it's mostly weddings, but we also do corporate events and all these other things too. You can see the languages that people speak. It's mostly English, but sometimes we do offer clients or services in French as well. You can see the days of the week that people are inquiring in the time of the day. This is so powerful, especially if you're trying to schedule your sales team and you don't know when you should be scheduling them. This is like, oh my God, this is game changing if you know when the leads are actually coming in. Then we also track our Google ad campaigns. We track the keywords, what do well and what do not do well. The next step that we have here, and the last one, is a simple one, but a really effective one as well. Usually, you'll have a CRM, you dump all the data in there, but sometimes the CRM just doesn't display the information properly, not the way I would like it to, at least. So with a workflow like this, what you can do is you can dump out all the paying customers that you have into one worksheet here, and you can just list out all the information so that at a given moment in time, anyone on your team can go through and see all the information. So you can take a really simple workflow like this, where you send information from your CRM, and then you automatically create a row in that particular spreadsheet based on the client information. So thank you guys so much for watching. If you guys liked any of these workflows, there's going to be links to pretty much all of them in the description, where I walk through step-by-step how to build them. And yeah, if you guys have any questions, just leave it in the description down below. Make sure to like this video if you did like it, and also subscribe if you want to see more videos just like this one. Thank you guys once again for watching, and I look forward to seeing you guys in the next video. Bye-bye.